Alright, this is a real quick little hack video here from my hotel room in Dallas. Oh, and yeah, the video is going to look crappy because I'm shooting it on my phone, but I don't have any of my camera gear, so anyway. So I had to fly out to Dallas for work, and before I even got to the airport, my phone battery was almost dead because I'd forgotten to charge it the night before, and by the time I got to Charlotte, it was completely dead. And I hate being in a city and not having my phone to get around and text people and stuff. So one day after work, I took the bus down to Fry's and picked up some stuff to make this. I know they make battery extender devices, but all the ones that I saw were like weedy and small and really, really expensive for what you get. So I kind of went the overkill route because I'm an overkill kind of guy. So what this is, it's a Pelican 1060 case. I think technically it's waterproof, although it's not waterproof anymore after I drilled a bunch of holes in it. But it just happens to be the perfect size to fit this 6-volt, 7.2 amp hour sealed lead acid battery. I guess this is made for, security systems or kids' toys or whatever. That is hooked up just with some, standard little crimp-on connectors to what was originally going to be a little linear regulator board, but they didn't have any 5-volt regulators, so instead I got just a regular little USB car charger. It's kind of shucked out of its case right there and is just hanging out there. Normally, of course, those are supposed to run off of automotive 12-volt DC, but I kind of had a sneaking suspicion the regulators would be okay, or regulator, I should say, would be okay running at 6, and in fact, it runs just fine. And then just real simple to break the power to that, there's a big, beefy push-button switch. I'm pretty sure this is the kind of switch that's used for, like, guitar effects, stop boxes, that kind of thing. I wanted something that, you could tap into, and not accidentally turn on, that would require, a fair amount of force to push it. It seems pretty sturdy. And in fact, when you push the button, you can see the light on the power supply turn off and on. Since I don't have much in the way of tools, I had to go pretty simple with how this is all assembled and put together. There's just a USB cable, USB-A to USB micro-A. I cut off some of the jacket. My phone doesn't really want to focus very well, but I trimmed off some of the jacket so I could jam it in this little hole that I made, and then kind of super glued the cable in place, and then just put the charger on the end of the cable, and it's fairly sturdy, but I'm going to reinforce that later. And then the one nice feature of the Pelican case that it's in, it has this rubber seal on the inside of it, which I suppose is to help waterproof it, but it also does a pretty good job of keeping stuff from sliding around. There's a little loop of packing tape underneath the battery, and it seems to do decent job of keeping stuff from moving, although I'll probably put in some sort of a clamping system to secure it once I get back to my workshop. So that goes together and snaps. Obviously it's not light. It's probably 3 or 4 pounds, but compared to the weight of the bag that I carry, it's really not that bad. And for some reason, the case even comes with this little carabiner, so I could hang it from my belt loop if I really wanted to, and have my pants fall off in the airport. You can't see it because, well, I'm using this phone to shoot this video, but the phone is in fact being powered from it, so the cable comes out of the giant box and goes in. You can see it plugged in here, and it does charge. I don't know too much about the efficiency of this little charger, but I'm guessing that it's going to be a pretty darn long time. A pretty fair amount of runtime. I've run it all day, and it has shown no signs of stopping. So, improvements, obviously I need to mount things better. I'd like to have 2 or 3 USB ports instead of just a fixed cable coming out, although that would more than likely require an upgrade to this regulator, because I'm sure it's only kicking out a half an amp or an amp or so at 5. And then also it needs charging hardware. I picked up this cheap little charger at Batteries Plus. It's a really cheap little Chinese-made thing. It's pretty sketchy, but it kind of works. But it just comes off to alligator clips, so just I've just disconnected it from the circuit and plugged it in and charged up the battery. And it works, but there's plenty of room in the box. Obviously, there's all this vertical space in the lid and this little spot right here. So I'd like to have the charging hardware integrated so I can just, if I do find a socket, plug it in and top it off. I also picked up this little panel, old school analog panel voltmeter that I was hoping to use to monitor the charge of the battery, but since it's a 15 volt scale and it's a 6 volt battery, it doesn't really help all that much. So I ended up leaving that out. I may come up with something a little better later, especially if I build my own charging circuit. So yeah, kind of quick and dirty, a little field expedient hack, but it's come in pretty handy already, keeping my phone alive walking around downtown. So if you have any questions, or if you want to laugh at my chances of getting this through a TSA checkpoint, leave me comments, and I will catch you all in the next video. Later.